Hey there, seventh graders. How you doing? This screencast is mirroring introduction to learning about the past that we're going to be doing as part of our Zoom class. So I'm creating this screencast so that if you need to go back and revisit some of this information, you will be able to do so. For the first week or two, we're going to be focusing on the theme of learning about the past. And to do that, we're going to be exploring a little bit more deeply a couple of important questions. The first question is, why do we learn about the past? We'll get into that question a little bit next week, but it's an important question. There are some people who question the value of learning about the past, particularly when we're talking about things in history and prehistory that go back thousands, dare I say hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years. So why do we learn about the past is an important question. The second question is, how do we learn about the past? What are the various disciplines and methods that we use for learning about the past? What kinds of artifacts do we examine to try to learn about the past? So that's another important question. How do you learn about the past? What are the most effective ways to do that? There are some related questions, sort of sub-questions, if you will, connected to these two much broader questions that we're starting with that also have to do with learning about the past. And one of those questions is, what makes learning about the past easy or hard? What are some things that make, for instance, one civilization, one we gather more information from than another? There are a lot of reasons why we know more about some civilizations than others. One of them has to do with just how much of that civilization has survived up until the present day. So what are some things that can make learning about the past easy or hard? Why is it that the farther back in time we go, the less sure we are about what we know? This is a really important question. There is a lot more data, information, many more artifacts that have survived from the last century, for example, than have survived from 10,000 years ago. And why is that? Why is it that so much more from more recent times survives? You probably already have an idea of the answer to that question, but it's still an interesting question to consider. Then finally, what kinds of sources give us the most accurate and detailed information? When people learn about the past, they learn about it by examining a wide range of different kinds of sources. One of the things that we'll be learning about in the next couple of classes are primary sources and secondary sources. These are terms you may have learned in sixth grade. If so, we will revisit them. But what kinds of sources give us the best information about the past? If you want to think about an example, think about the Egyptians from sixth grade. A lot of what we know about the Egyptians comes from burial tombs, particularly the burial tombs of the pharaohs and other high-ranking officials in Egypt. That's a lot of information. Does that give us a lot of information about all of Egyptian society? The short answer is no. It gives us a lot of information about a particular slice of Egyptian society. So if we're trying to get a sense of a whole picture of a place, what sources will give us that? And in some places, do those sources exist? That's a really important thing to keep in mind as well. So we're going to be focusing on learning about the past and looking more about in the next week or two about why and how we learn about the past and exploring some of these sub-questions in a little bit more detail. Anyway, we'll talk more about this in class. See you soon.